Okay, Nick and Andy, there's a developing move about Omar Marmoush going to Manchester City from Eintracht Frankfurt. Can he be the difference, Nick? I mean, this is necessary, right, for Man City, but a kind of unexpected, exciting move. We thought this month it would be about a Rodri replacement, getting in some more defenders, a bit of cover. But what kind of player is Marmoush? And is this exactly what Man City need at this time? Because I don't think this is exactly what Pep Guardiola probably wanted at the start of January, but it looks like it's what you could be getting.
Look, his measurables are elite. This is a ball mover, whether it be through dribbling or passing. Excellent passer, playmaker, center forward type finishing that you get out of him. Someone who can play versatile, right? There's a versatility to him that he can operate on the wing of Haaland, and if Haaland needs to sub out, he can go into the game. So that all works. So can he be the difference? Yeah, I bet they can score one more goal every 2 games. Can he fix this team? No. So that's the thing, because I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but when it comes to what this team needs, it needs either, your Rodri replacement or to revert to the 2009 where you literally have a Xavi, a Busquets, and an Iniesta all playing these different rules. So can he be the difference? Yeah, they'll score more goals with him. He looks great. And I love the idea of getting, honestly, a player who is being talked about in the same way that you've heard people talk about Salah in terms of an Egyptian and the promise he has.
Yeah, he's the natural heir to Salah, right? As the Egyptian prince, shall we call him right now, in terms of Egyptian football. But I think, Andy, we look at his record in the Bundesliga, 13 goals in 15 games this season. See the output there. He is obviously the Alvarez replacement that City didn't buy in the summer and that they probably should have bought, but they waited a bit. It is a very Man City signing, right? They tend to buy players in this sort of 50 to 60 million pound bracket where you're like, oh, okay, he's good. Like, maybe we thought they go for a superstar, but like he is on the way up, right? And there's a lot of clubs looking at him. But it seems like if Man City can make this move, then they've actually replaced Alvarez and made money on the deal, and pretty savvy business, right? In terms of what you need, but still need those extra players defensively.
I'm going to push back against the savvy business because, like you said, they'll make a profit. They waited 6 months, and it's not the only reason. But look where their season is. They could have used a Julian Alvarez or an Omar Marmoush in August and September and October when they had a ton of players that were coming back from time off in the summer, injuries, what have you. And I know they brought in Savinho, but I think this is to go make the Marmoush move so quickly probably is an admission that hasn't worked out. It's probably a bit of an admission that Jeremy Doku hasn't worked out for the club and probably will be moving on at some point as well. And so I look at this a little bit more next season as the real impact of this move, more so than this year. They're probably still a top 4 team this year, whether they make this signing or not. That there is an inertia about Manchester City that I find it very difficult to picture them not making top 4. And so, yeah, I like the signing. He's very versatile, and he should bring a bit of dynamism to that team because right now it's pretty slow. It's predictable. It's not exciting. It was effective on the weekend, but I don't think they're gonna run the rest of the season playing like that.
Definitely not. I mean, Nick, the other area that City really need to strengthen in is defensively, holding midfield. I mean, what do we think? Because it seems like Zubimenda, that's kind of quieting down, and he's, by all accounts, the reports in Spain said he doesn't want to leave Sociedad right now. He wants to stay in La Liga, which we knew from the summer when he turned down Liverpool. So what can they do? I mean, there's only a very small amount of players they can go after here that know that they are going to be sat behind Rodri in the holding midfield role in a few months' time. And I guess defensively as well, it's difficult to recruit players for Man City, I feel like, because when everybody's fit, you know that some of their star defenders are just going to be in straight ahead of you. So it's finding that right character that's going to accept it. Or do they just stick with the players in the academy and keep rotating those guys in? But we know that kind of comes with a lot of a risk as well.
And look, I'm probably saying something unpopular or maybe wild here, but if you start the calendar on February 1st, assuming that not 8 other guys get hurt, I would expect them to have the most points in the league from that point forward. This is what they do. and they need another finisher for sure. The biggest thing for me is, can you find someone who will adapt to a role for the next few months? And I'm not saying to be Rodri, but to be close enough to Rodri in Premier League games, because right now I think the issue is without Rodri, Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne haven't looked right. And because they have the freedom, they're still using the freedom, but nobody's cleaning up the mess. And so that is invading their heads a little bit. So the way I look at it is they absolutely need to find someone who will sit back there and do a job.
Yeah, they really do. And finding a Rodri replacement is not easy, but let's see how Man City get on this month for trying to do that and trying to bolster the defense. But the main focus right now seems to be Omar Marmoush coming from Eintracht Frankfurt. So head over to Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com for all the latest on that developing deal and everything else going on with Man City, because it seems like it's going to be a very busy month for them as they try and somehow get back in the title race. Probably that's too big of an ask, but there's still lots for City to achieve this season if they can find a couple of key pieces defensively, as well as Marmoush.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And if you want even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.